Welcome, nerds. In this video, I am going to be unboxing a new slider from Fidget Boy. I have previously reviewed some Fidget Boy sliders. I'll link it at the end of the video if you're interested. And this is the first metal one, okay? He's venturing into metal. As far as I know, it's someone else machining it for him. He's having someone else machine it, but it is being machined in the USA. It's going to go out at a very competitive price of 220 bones. That is shipped and with extra magnets and stuff like that. So that is very competitive, competing with sliders like the wrapped. A standard stainless steel wrapped is like 230. So what is this thing called actually? I don't actually know what it's called. Oh, BooBooBoy. It's a boo. I'm not laughing at the name. I think it's so good. Okay, it's a BooBooBoy. And it makes sense to me now. It's a Band-Aid. I can see it now. It's a Band-Aid. The BooBooBoy. I love all that baby talk stuff. I'm totally into it. I'm not laughing at the name, I promise. I think it's awesome. So we're going to do the metal BooBooBoy. Okay. I love that. Okay, this is going to get into it here. The BooBooBoy. Perfect. BooBooBoy. Cactuses. Oh, nice. Oh, cool. Oh, Jason, your stickers are freaking awesome. It's going to go right to the stickers. Yeah. Oh, I freaking love stickers, as some of you may know. Those are cool. I'm keeping these. Oh, is that a magnet? No way. That's a freaking magnet. Cool. I like that. That's different. No one's done that. No one's ever sent me a magnet before. That's pretty cool. Nice. I like that. Okay. I'm keeping that too. That's mine now. It's going over there. And then, yeah, that's going on. I'm going to find a place on the Pelican case for that one for sure. Whew. Okay, yeah. Whew. That's satisfying as hell. Wow, that's better than a Verk. I just have to say that right now. That's better than a Verk. Holy sheet. Okay, that is very, very. I'm impressed with that. I have tried a few 3D printed sliders in my day. That is one of the more satisfying snaps out of one for sure. That thing is pretty freaking cool. Okay, that is a crunch one. And then what do we got here? So this is a resin BooBooBoy, or 3D printed BooBooBoy, I would take it. And now we are silent. Still very satisfying. Wow. I am initially very impressed. That is very satisfying. The slide action is amazing. Zero resistance. I got very distracted by that, but I got distracted by that for good reason. And then, oh, cool. Okay, so this is, wow, what is going on here? Let me get you a nice close-up look at the detailing here. That is a very unique pattern. Not really the biggest fan of the clicks on that one. It's a bit quieter. It's like a crunchy quieter crunch. More stickers. I like this packaging. This is really good. I like that you get to see it right away. Impressed with that. If they all come with this nice little shield like this, that's great. I'm really into that. That's really cool to open it up and just like see it like that little window. Very, ooh, right? So, okay. So this is the metal BooBooBoy. And I don't know if it's copper or brass, but if I'm going from the color, brass? I don't really know. I'm kind of colorblind actually. Wow. Quieter on the clicks, a little more subtle than the resin 3D printer. I'll call it resin because I'm pretty sure it is a form of resin. That is to be expected if it's quieter because we are dealing with a heavier slider here. Those are some interesting machining lines. I'm noticing something about the plates right away that I'll touch on later. You can try to guess what it is. Yeah, see? It's more of like a more of like an imprint than a real sort of grooves or something, like less with the grooves and more of like this. It's just like a texture. Okay. Yeah, like initial thoughts. Feels great in the hand. So unique. BooBooBoy, great name. Love how your finger just goes right into there. I don't want to open it. I don't want to do too much with it. I want to just spend some time with it. So that's it for now. I will check in later when I have had some more time. Okay. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I've been playing with all of these for several days now. I do have to open it up now, and I got to mess with the magnets because it's, I'm not the biggest fan of having like crunch. So I gotta just quickly switch this over and see what it's like without it, so I can kind of give this a fair shot. Other than that, this is the one that I have been grabbing the most. I'll get more into it probably a bit later, but it's probably the best 3D printed slider I've ever tried. I'll just say that. All right, so I'm gonna open this up and let's see what goes on here. Okay, so let's see what we got in here. Oh, he had O-rings in half already. Interesting. What I'm seeing right away is these stainless steel plates, like they thick. See that? Thick. So this part I'm imagining is actually maybe a little lighter than I would have thought. It might be all the plates that are doing it. But now that I'm looking closer here, it looks like they're probably just Sharpied. It looks to me right away like those, I don't know if those little O-rings are deep enough in there to even keep the magnets fully secured. These O-rings are different. I don't know what's going on here. So maybe these are like a light crunch sort of one or something like that. I don't know. Let's see how one of these stacks up in there. It does end up more flush, like with the top of the plate, whereas the other ones aren't as flush. So I worry about the body, like actually squishing it down or not. I'll try to reposition this one. It's a little crooked in there. Come on. Oh, that one's gone like jammed. I think I'm gonna have to take these out to try to get that one out. Don't like that. Come on. Yeah, that one straight up jammed itself in there at an angle. It's not good. Ah, got it. It's just a little bit of leverage on the side. No big deal. All right, let's get a bunch of these other O-rings in and then try this out. And then if it doesn't go fully no crunch, I'm going to stop like recording this probably, and then I will go and mess with it and do some little tricks that I know will be able to stop it, because I need to know how this thing functions with zero rattle. I can tell these O-rings aren't gonna, I don't think they're gonna fully stop the crunch. We will see. Okay, let's see how this works. That was an easy process, putting it together like that. Yeah, still a little bit of crunch. Yeah, so still a little bit of crunch. It's less. This is like what I would call a medium crunch sort of scenario, or a light, like crunch light. But this is not full no crunch. Oops. But I am starting to be able to hear a bit of the slide noise better. Okay, cool. That's all I can do for now. I gotta mess with this more. I don't know what's going on. That's like max crunch. Okay, that's it for now. And you know, like if you made it this far, go hit the subscribe. It's like down there or something. There's like a button for like and subscribe. Because you made it this far, like, you know, why not? Just do it. It's fun. Okay, I'm gonna mess with this more. Okay, bye. All right, back once again. I think I figured it out. I think I figured it out. So I've had this thing long enough, the BooBooBoy, that I've messed with it probably for a week now, and can confidently say I've got it to a point where I'm like, I think this is really locked in. So I wasn't really happy with how the O-rings wouldn't hold the magnets firmly and securely. And I know that some of you are probably thinking, well, what the heck's the matter, Zach? Some people like the magnets, all moving and floppy and, rattly and stuff. And that's fine. You may like that. And that would be a fine way for you to use it. But I have learned through experience that you cannot truly experience the full haptic feedback of a slider unless the magnets are secured. When they're all secured and they snap from one position to another, it's a different experience. In my personal opinion, it's a better haptic experience. So that is why I have slowly kind of been leaning and going more over to the like fully secured magnets for basically that haptic experience. So I'm going to show you it and I'll show you what it's like totally secured here. So here we are with Mr. BooBooBoy, and this is what it sounds like. I think that's creamy. I think that's creamy delicious. Now, it's basically behaving in the same way as its little 3D printed brother. So one of the amazing things about this little 3D printed delight is its haptics. So even though it doesn't have any of the magnets moving around like in this one, it still has an amazing haptic feedback because it has a very good magnet layout. He's figured out, Jason has, of what the good spacing is between magnets like vertically along here. It's also the reason that this one is quieter, because even though it's a 3-click slider, it has less body length of these other 3-click sliders. So therefore, its magnet spacing in between magnets vertically is going to be less. It just has to be. So for a slider of this body size, this should be a 2-click slider. And then all of a sudden, its haptics would be better and its sound would be better because there'd be more of a distance between the magnets to snap together. That's one thing that affects sound big time in sliders is the distance the magnet is traveling to snap to the next one. So that all being said, this is pretty damn good. But I had to know what its haptics were going to be like. And I was really, really, really hoping that they were going to end up being the same as this, seeing as, because it looks to me to be almost a copy paste over from the 3D printed one to machining. You have a slight difference with because it's switched from having a body going over slide plates to this one is, the body gets pushed into the slide plates. So that's kind of the swap that happened with this. Anyway, I'm going to open it up and I'm going to show you what I did and we will, have a look here because I think it's important. Okay, so here we are, all opened up. The way I fixed it isn't really like the prime way to do it, but it works. It's almost always going to work. Basically, it's a little piece of foam. And now it's got the imprint of the ring in it. So what this stuff is, it's just 2mm like kids construction foam that you can get at pretty much any like dollar store or craft store. And then I'm just using a hole punch, just, cutting out little things of it. You might get a hole punch that's not a complete piece of shite and actually cuts the entire circle out. That would be a bonus. So that is the fix for it in its current state right now to be able to get all the magnets secured. The reason that fixes it is because, so you see how now the O-rings are just slightly over the height of the slide plate. You need that. You need to have it when you push down, when you take this and go down to put it back together, you need to feel like you need to squish it with the screws. You need to tighten it and squish it with the screws, or it will not secure those magnets enough. The maker is saying, oh, if you take this and, you put these O-rings on top of the magnets, there won't be any crunch. And then if you take them out, then it's going to be crunchy. But when you end up getting is you get, oh, if you take the O-rings out, it's crunchy. And if you put the O-rings in, you get this light crunch. To me, it's like, I don't know. No, come on. How about you include a kind of O-ring that gives a light crunch, but then also include a slightly bigger O-ring that actually squishes down and secures the magnets properly. So I don't know if the fix to this is to either get bigger O-rings or to do a couple of things that I have thought of. One of the things that you could do easily is decrease the thickness of these slide plates. Then all that would have to happen is this would be machined slightly less thick here. There's going to be no problem with that. It's not like when you go from this, you know, in your CAD file on, you know, CAD, that it needs to be this like direct transfer over, right? I think that sometimes the mistake that happens is that a maker will, you know, take a file that, you know, they've used in CAD that's really working well with one material, and then they go and start trying to use it in another material. And instead of kind of doing a redesign for that different material, they just go with the same CAD file and try to make that work with the new material. But I think that in this case, it needs to be reworked a little bit, and it needs to be reworked with the idea of, you know, the other materials at play, like the magnets and stuff. Magnets are a finicky thing, and it's hard to get magnets in kind of the thickness that you need. You can't just like have magnets custom made, right, to, you know, a certain specification. So in a way, you kind of have to look at the magnets and go, what do I have available here? And then sort of work the slider and the slide plates around that, I think. So I'll show you what it's like when you put this thing back together. So if that's just sitting on there like that, I'm going to pull this off. I'll see if I can. Yeah, perfect. So do you see that? Do you see the edge of the slide plate going in to the body? That's that kind of squish that you want. That right there, that's a compression. You need that to make it work. And that's like, that's a perfect kind of spring to it. So these screws still screw in just fine, and it holds everything perfectly now. And then you're getting maximum haptics. And now we're able to hear how those slide plates sound. Because to me personally, that's one of the best things about a slider. When you're somewhere where you're not able to be clicking very loud, but you still want to make a little noise, you want that noise to be something that is sort of intoxicating and tickles your brain in that right way. So that's something that this, I guess I was calling it an imprint almost. It's doing well, right? It's creating a cool sound. And I know I said earlier in the video that I'd have you guess what I saw about these slide plates right when I first saw it. So if you guessed that you can see the magnet positions on the plates, ding, 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 give yourself a little gold star. Go to the dollar store and buy a sheet of gold stars. Just stick them all over yourself. So that's what it was, and that's what jumps out at me right away. And me personally, I don't really like that. I think it looks unfinished. I think it looks unthought out, and I think that we shouldn't see that. And I know that the fix would be to either make this imprint, like make the grooves of that imprint slightly deeper, and or change the thickness of, you know, what's left there at that point in the slide plate. You know, it's getting drilled through from the other side. You know, maybe just like play with that, like another 0.5 mil less or 0.5 mil thicker and stuff. And I think a combo of those or one of those each would kind of solve that, and that would be gone. Other than that, the slide quality is really quite good. It's easy, it's fun. I'm not getting much resistance from it. The only thing I might be having issues with is like grip sometimes. For some reason, it's if I hit it anywhere here with my thumb, if I'm right on like that bit, I'm not really getting any grip. I always have to go down to right on the edge to get that to come up. And I think that's because I also have the resin one with me, and the resin one, it doesn't really matter where you grip it. You're always going to just get grip. So that could be part of it. Like right there, I'm pushing, but it's hard to It's hard to get the grip I need sometimes. And if you've just moisturized your hands or something like that, good luck. So I spoke about the haptics and how they're really quite good in this slider, and conversely in the 3D printed version as well, because it is the same layout. And part of the reason is the layout. That's why the haptics are good. Jason has figured out the right spacing vertically to get the right amount of snap and haptic feel in the magnets. But another thing that he's gotten right that I always seem to kind of test, and I don't see a lot of other people like looking at it in sliders as much, is that the horizontal layout of the magnets kind of works with the vertical layout. And one way to test that is to kind of put the slider into a T, and then if you can slide it up and down like that, and it doesn't just like wobble out of place, that means that you're spacing horizontally this way is the same or damn close to it this way. And I can show you an example of when that doesn't work and it hasn't been thought out. So this was made before Jonas made the Raptor V2, and he's even told me before that he didn't get it perfectly right. So this one doesn't have equal spacing horizontally as it does vertically. So when you put this one in the T and you start to try to go down with it, you see how it just skipped over? It doesn't want to play nice. See how it just went down like that and went over like that. See? Good example. It doesn't mean that it doesn't sound, and work great on the up and down, but its layout hasn't been perfected. Same, I believe, with the biscuit slider, but it, see, just jumped over, jumped over, jumped over. Still really good on the up and down. So it's not like one of those things that a lot of people are going to go, oh, okay, well, like who cares, right? I never use my slider like that. But I kind of believe that it helps the haptics in general, if that kind of matches up. And I don't know if Jason did that on purpose, or maybe he's just a secret genius or something like that, but he did it with this one and it works. So this is actually the first time I've weighed the BooBooBoy. We're going to call that 129. So that's pretty heavy. It's going to be a brass wrapped, and it's got brass inserts as well. So as heavy as it can basically be. And that's only 101. Call it 101. This is a tungsten copper wrapped, and it's got aluminum inserts in it. So it could be heavier. I could make it probably 20 grams heavier if I put brass inserts in it. So 108, a little bit heavier than the brass one, but I could probably make this one as heavy as the BooBooBoy. This is a brass coral Verk, and it has stainless steel plates. So going to be a little heavier than if you had, say, the Zerk plates that Magnus also offers. That's 112. And then this is the V3 biscuit from Black Dog Labs. It's got brass plates on it and a titanium body. The brass plates, coincidentally, are basically the same weight as the stainless steel ones that are offered as well. 118. So this little guy is the heaviest one here. And I don't know what it is. I couldn't even really tell. Yeah, there you go. That's the heaviest one that I got on me right now. If we made the grooves a bit deeper in there, or, played with the thickness of the slide plates at the holes where they're drilled for the magnets, we might be able to get rid of that imprint where we're seeing the magnets. If we played with the actual thickness of the body and the slide plates, we might be able to get to the O-rings just sticking over top of the slide plates and then have the body actually compress them. And that's kind of like, that's what I like to see with it. If we got a V2, that's what I want to see to change this. But otherwise, very impressed. And I was like so happy today when I went and I secured all the magnets. I put it all back together and I was like, I did that first slide because I know sometimes you do something with the slider and you think it's going to be great, and then you go to that and it doesn't work. Something's not working, or what can commonly happen is you get a good first click and then it's sort of like, and it just mushes out and it just doesn't work. I was happy that worked out. I don't know. I think I might have just beat this one into the ground. I don't know. Yeah, it's good stuff. I had to play with it a lot, but here we are. So if I had to, kind of say which of my favorites were from all the stuff that I was given to take a look at, I can't really, like, these are the two clear winners for me, is the BooBooBoys. They're just locked in, right? This has got to be, like I was saying earlier, one of the most locked in and haptically pleasing sliders ever. I don't know what it is, and I don't freaking care because it works and it's great. The only complaint I've had is that I can start to hear the magnets ungluing themselves a little bit that wasn't present at the beginning when I got it. So it's a little thing, but if it's going to be a slider where the magnets are secured, I want them to be secured all the time. This thing, speaking of unsecured magnets and secured magnets, this thing is a little monster. It's insane. It is, like I said before, it is better than a Verk in just its haptics and that sound, that feedback. I don't know what is going on. But if you like crunch, like run, don't walk, and go grab one of these. It's got the same haptics and magnet layout as the BooBooBoy, and it's working for it like crazy. It has got to be my favorite little cruncher that I've got hanging around right now. So clear winners. Can't really compare them to each other and say that one is better than the other, because one is metal and one is 3D printed. They're too different. You can't really do it. But love them. This one, meh. And it's because I said before, it's a 3-click slider living in a 2-click slider's body. Put it that way. So there you have it, nerds. A review that's probably gone on way too long, but I hope it was helpful. I hope it gave you the right kind of breakdown. And yeah, that's about it. Hit like.
Fidget Boy.